Hi, welcome back to Caboose Fresh, and thanks again for using us. So I'll just quickly cover things if you haven't used us before, just to explain the concept. My name's Mark, and we've got our head chef Dan here. I'm a complete novice, and the whole point is I'm going to cook a dish I've never cooked before, and Dan's going to talk me through, giving me hints and tips along the way. Now I've got a recipe, and we've all used a recipe before, but what I certainly find is that there can be bits missing, and when you come across problems, you either sink or swim, you need to figure it out. So Dan's going to help us overcome those problems if we find any. It's a pretty simple dish today, so we shouldn't really have much of an issue, he says. So today's dish is a nice soup. Dan will tell us a little bit more about that in a second, but we've got our recipe here, or a standard operating procedure, or SOP as you'll hear us referring to. And on there it tells us a little bit about some prep tasks that need to be done first. So as you can see, I've chopped the vegetables, the onions, crumbled up the cheese, just ready to cook. As soon as we don't need to mess on during the video, we all know how to chop some stuff up. So I've done those jobs. You can see them sitting there, and I'm ready to go. So Dan, do you want to tell us a little bit about this soup before we get going?
Yeah, of course. It's just basically the only reason I put it on. It's like my favourite soup. You know, it's lovely. It's tomato and roasted red pepper. It's really nice flavour. It's lovely in the winter. Nice with cheese scones and stuff like that. You know, it's really nice. You can have it as a main course and a big bowl between you, a family of four or whatever. And it's nice with the goat cheese as well. Really nice flavours that go well together.
Okay, good. Sounds great. I'm starving just thinking about it. Right, so Dan, like I said, everything's prepped. The pan's, there's some heat under the pan here, so we're ready to go. If you just want to tell me what I'm doing.
Yeah, no worries. It's pretty straightforward. So just add a bit of oil to the pan, and you want to get it nice and hot.
Just veg oil.
Just veg oil, just the same as usual. They say a tablespoon, but it's always about 7 in it. You know.
Yeah, a glug.
Yeah, exactly right. Then if you just whack the pan up really high, and chuck the onions in first with a pinch of salt.
Okay, that's hot.
I can see the steam coming off it. What?
Yeah.
Have you got a spoon there?
Just a pinch of salt.
Yeah, just a pinch of salt and give it a stir with a wooden spoon. Just get a bit of colour on them. And it depends. I mean, you know, you add the salt to remove some of the moisture from the onions. It just helps them caramelise better. But you don't want it to be too caramelised. You know, just remove the moisture, cook them a little bit, and then next you want to add in the garlic and thyme with the peppers.
Not the paprika, no.
Not the paprika, no. Just the garlic and thyme, and the chopped red pepper that you've got there. So I'm going to cook them out. Just keep that on a high heat. Keep that frying. You add a little pinch more salt as well. And always season it as you're cooking it, like from start to finish. It saves you.
If it's going to end up with like 6 pinches of salt, why not just chuck it in at the same time?
You can chuck it in at the end, but it's better just to balance the flavour as you go through. Like I say, if you put the salt in now, it'll draw the moisture out of things, you know, it'll help the cooking process, and it just seasons it throughout the dish, you know, rather than just adding it at the end. Like I say, people have got salt on the tables anyway, but if you don't season it now, season it right at the end, it'll be a bland soup, and the salt won't have cooked into it, it won't have caramelised as well, you know. So you're going to keep that frying for a few minutes. To be honest, the longer you leave it on there, the better, but for the sake of the video, we can just speed it up. But I would just fry that off till it's nice and soft, and the veg just sweat it down. And then next you're going to be adding the paprika and the tomatoes together with the tomato puree, and just cook them down with a little bit more salt. But just don't be too heavy with it, because you can always add more at the end, but you can't take it away. So just be careful with it. So the salt in there as well, it'll help draw the moisture from the tomatoes. It'll just help it all cook down nicely. So you just need to sweat that off for about a minute or so. Then cover it with water and just let it cook out for about half an hour. Then we're going to come back to it and blend it.
So, a minute or so, and when you cover it with water, and what did you say?
Yeah, just basically sweat it off for a minute or so. Like I say, you can cook it down for even longer if you like. You can leave that on there slowly cooking, like slowly frying that for 20 minutes, half an hour if you wanted. Then add the water, then you'll get a nicer flavour. But for the sake of the video, like I say, we'll cover it with the water and boil it, and then we'll simmer it to slowly release the flavour. Then we'll come back to it in about half an hour, blend it, and that's when we'll season it and stuff like that.
Okay, so is it cold water or boiling water?
You can add either really, but boiling water, like again, for the sake of speed purposes, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all hot water at the tap, it makes no difference really, just time. That's
So how much water's going in then?
I would just cover the tomatoes by about an inch, and then, like I say, at the end, if the soup's too thick or it's too thin, you know, you can. If it's too thin, well, there's nothing you can do about that. But if it's too thick, you can always add a bit more liquid. So just cover them by about an inch, and then let that cook out for about 30 minutes.
Right. Okay.
And to be honest, it is quite important to let everything cook slowly and let it all caramelize nicely. And that's what I'm saying, that you can do that at home, but for us now to do that, we'll be sitting here for an hour just trying to make a bowl of soup, you know.
Yeah. So I guess it's just in case, like you said, take the time, do it nice and steady, and then leave it simmering away now for what did you say, 20 minutes?
20, 30 minutes, well, 30 minutes would be better, you know.
30 minutes, okay.
Yeah, but like I say, it depends. I mean, if you cook that down and if you sweat them down for 10 minutes, right,
yeah,
and you cook them slowly, then you only need to boil it for, say, 15, 20 minutes. But because we've just done that, it should take about half an hour for it. But like I say, people don't want to watch you stand there stirring tomatoes, just smiling at the camera, you know.
Yeah, they might like, but you never know. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll leave it there, and then we'll come back once this has been on for about 25, 30 minutes. Okay? Okay, yeah, we're back now. So the soup's been on for about 30 minutes.
Right.
I'm laughing because Dan's been looking at the size of my ladle, which is, yeah, we'll just leave that there. So, been on for 30 minutes. Dan, what we're doing now?
Right, you need to take that ladle, right, and then you take it out of there, and you're gonna ladle it into your the blender you've got there. Obviously, I would say use a stick blender. But
yeah, so the whole point is people's going to come across challenges doing this in their own home, because you're saying put it in a blender. Well, I don't have a blender. I've got a little machine that I make smoothies with and milkshakes and stuff. So what happens if I haven't got a blender at all?
if you haven't got a blender at all and you haven't got one of them, then just press it through a sieve, through a fine sieve. But you will have to press it really hard, and you'll get a sweat on with it, you know. That's the original way of doing it anyway, like from hundreds of years ago. That's what people did. They pressed it through a fine sieve before there was blenders and stuff like that.
So it's not going to be as good a soup, but it's not game over either.
No, well, I mean, it'll still be nice. Depends on how much effort you put in, because you'll get hacked off halfway through and you'll pin the rest, you know what I mean? So it may be a bit watery, but if you've got a blender, then ideal. But there's always a way. So I would just say use a ladle and a sieve, a fine sieve, and press it through.
So just whack, what, half in here or what?
Yeah, just half. Where did you get that ladle from, Mark? And I wouldn't fill that too high because it'll explode out the top, you know. Once you've got the lid on, and then you know you don't want, when you open it, it'll pop with the steam.
Was that too much?
No, that's fine. That's fine. It's a safe amount.
This is the you've been framed moment where it explodes.
Yeah, just keep your hand over the top, press it down, like. Right now, Mark, if you've got another pan, I would pour that into a pan, and once all the soup's blended, pour it into a pan. Then you're gonna check it for seasoning.
Okay.
So I think you've got about one portion there so far?
Yeah. Hang on, we'll just do one portion. There's more than enough. There's tons.
Yeah, exactly. You get the gist,
So,
you know.
we'll just plate up one portion.
Right, so what I would say now, right, take a spoon and check that for seasoning. And the idea is to balance the seasoning. So, like, you can add it, it'll be quite bland. You'll maybe be able to taste the salt in it.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it needs a little bit more salt.
Right, well, it might need a bit more salt, but what's nice with it, right, if you add a little pinch of sugar and a little tiny bit of white wine vinegar, and it'll taste like Heinz soup. It makes it really quite acidic, and it's nice. You don't have to do that, but it's worth giving it a go.
A little bit of sugar.
Just a little pinch, a tiny bit of sugar. You don't need a lot of that, like literally the tiniest amount makes such a difference. And then a tiny bit of white wine vinegar. And again, you don't have to do that. It's just personal preference, but it's delicious if you try like this.
Just a splash.
Yeah, just a splash. Aye. Then taste it, and you'll know yourself if it needs a bit more. You know.
It doesn't have change at that.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Aye. It's called a gastrix. If you boil the sugar and vinegar, if you're doing a big pan of soup, where you normally take sugar and vinegar, bring it to boil, juice it a little bit, and add it into the soup, like a big pan of tomato and red pepper soup. We usually put it on a Sunday for Sunday lunch. It's called a gastrix. It's like an old French thing. It's nice, so it's such a difference, isn't it?
Okay, right. What am I doing now?
Right, just whack that into a bowl, pour it into a bowl, ready to serve, and then you just kind of crumble the goat's cheese on top of that. Don't be shy with that. Just chuck the whole lot on.
What?
Chuck the whole lot on. It's lovely, man. There you go. I would always finish that with a twist of cracked black pepper as well, if you can. It goes really well with the goat's cheese. Again, it's not essential, but it's just stuff that you might have lying around the house.
Anything else? Coriander, anything else on top?
You don't have to. I mean, if you've got any chives or anything like that, you can put some herbs on, but it doesn't really matter.
Well, I guess that's it.
Really?
There we go.
It's a simple bowl of soup, but it's all in the flavour. Like, it's really delicious.
It looks tremendous. It does taste lovely. That little tip at the end really makes a difference, actually. It tasted nice, but that makes it even better. So, yeah. What's that, 35 minutes or so? And we've made 2 cracking, really big portions. I mean, I haven't even used all of that, and that was just half it. So there's a really filling, nice starter there, or a nice lunch with a nice sandwich or something on the side. So again, I'll say it again, if I can do it, then you can do it too, with Dan's little helps and tips along the way. So good luck, hope you enjoy it. And Dan, thanks very much again.
Thank you.
Cheers, see you later now.